Hello everyone. The author and poet Joel McCarroll writes about how much of how we all see the world is dictated by the framework, the fishbowl as he calls it, that we have grown up in. Psychologists continue to debate what impacts us more, nature or nurture, but few dispute that much of how we see the world, understand people, relate to God, is influenced by things that are so embedded in us that we don't always see them or recognize them anymore. And then there are moments. Moments when we have a chance to rethink. Moments when something happens that for a brief time reframes much of what we know and see and think. Moments when we have a chance to embrace fresh wisdom, new insights. Moments that some have called liminal space, a space of transition between one point in time and another. Liminal space can happen at some of the toughest times in our lives. But it can create for us moments when we have a chance to make decisions and choices that in ordinary times, so much that is within us, would stop us making. Those times when that voice in our head that says, "But I can't because," is a little less loud. Jesus obviously never used the word liminal space, but he did, I believe, have periods of his life and ministry where he was in that very place. In the desert before his ministry began, in the Garden of Gethsemane when he made the decision to face his death. His disciples too were in what you could call a liminal place after his death. Shut up in that room, everything they thought they'd known for the last 3 years was crashing around them. And yet it was that time which formed the amazing ministry which followed. Dare I suggest that for many of us, lockdown from coronavirus creates a liminal space. Many of the things we normally do, many of the commitments we normally have, many of the safety nets we normally rely on are not here right now. It is different, and that is very discombobulating. But we may be able to use that place of discombobulation as a time to make changes. Changes that we would normally feel too inhibited to make. We may be able to allow ourselves to be changed. I've heard many people comment on some of the positives of this time. And then it's very often followed by the phrase, "I hope we don't just go back to how things were after all of this." This is the time to capture those things, to voice them out and to commit ourselves to being different when all of this is over. Take care.